This 1952 jukebox is very reminiscent of the 50s, and this was used on the opening shots for the long-running TV show Happy Days.
When Mad Joe Martin first got into radio in 1970, beautiful Seaburg jukeboxes like this one were not that uncommon. In fact, the first time he ever slipped a nickel into a jukebox was in the mid-1950s in Denton.
My uncle owned a cafe, and he had a jukebox in the corner. Gave me a nickel, I went over and played it, and I was hooked then.
And Joe says all throughout the 60s and the 70s, he dreamed of owning one of his own. Well, now his wait is long over.
It almost makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up when I hear the old rock and roll music on a 78 from the early 50s played on a 1948 jukebox. I love the shape. I love the colors. In a dark room, the dome completely lights up. You see colors changing in front of the grill cloth. The shape of it, the sound of it.
And this 1948 Rockola could have very easily been in a place like the MB Corral.
And the operators could have run them up into the mid-50s. The reason they probably didn't run them much longer is because they only had 20 selections. And the operators found out, hey, let's give the folks 100 selections, we can make a lot more money.
And that's where
this would come in, exactly.
And Joe even has wall boxes hooked up to these beauties from the 40s and 50s.
You would have been hearing your big band music on there, Tommy Dorsey, Benny Goodman, where here you'd be hearing Fats Domino and Little Richard.
They call me the Batman.
And this one, Joe says this one's a real treasure. It's a slow-turning Seaburg from the early 60s that has 2 needles, so it can also play the flip side of the record.
This is the kind of background music machine you would have seen maybe at Sears downtown in Wichita Falls, or at the Piggly Wiggly grocery stores. Some people might call that a Muzak machine. But this thing, you can put 25 records on it and will not repeat a song for 36 hours.
One of the things Joe loves most about his collection of jukebox history is what he's also put in them. Jingles will take you back to the early 1960s in Wichita Falls radio.
Shepherd Air Force Base, you'll see where's Midwestern University, Wichita Falls.
One jingle even goes back to 1955.
Make sure your dial is always set at KTRN, at KTRN.
But Joe's collection goes back much further than that.
1905, maybe up to 1912 or so. Got to put a little gas in the tank. No electricity here. And then we started, and then, with a little luck, a couple of days ago I was sitting in here hearing songs, and certain songs take me back to certain places in my life. And when I play a song from 1972, I think to myself, I just came to KTRN when I played that Doobie Brothers song and it was brand new. Or I was in Liberal, Kansas, and I played, a Jimi Hendrix song or a song from The Doors that was popular in '71. And when I hear that song, it takes me back to that time.
Each of the glowing machines in this mad scientist lab of nostalgia tells a different story, and oh, the memories they could spin when they come alive.
Think how many people walked up and have stood, and happy people, sad people, lonely people, people that are celebrating anniversaries, birthdays. If they could talk, it would be an endless story.
Wake it up, wake it up. Oh, yeah, let's get it up, get it rolling to work, baby.
In 2003, Mad Joe Martin was inducted into the Mobile Disc Jockey Hall of Fame in Las Vegas.
This thing will peel the paint off the walls.
But almost 45 years after becoming a big voice in TEXOMA radio, this is where you'll often find him today, on this side of the speakers. And who could blame him?
It's a way for me to relive the past and be happy. I find a lot of peace when I just come in here and sit. Thanks for letting me spend a little time with you today, sharing the memories. This is Mad Joe Martin in the Mad Museum, signing off for KFDX 3 News.